was just getting ready to change it. Sorry, I had my
No worries.
computer muted, so I couldn't hear what you were saying either.
And you know what? This is set so that everybody comes on automatically muted. So, and I'm going to be starting us off today. Denny is on a plane coming back from Bold in Wisconsin.
Gotcha.
So, awesome. So, how things going in your neck of the woods?
My neck of the woods?
Yeah, your neck of the woods. You're the only one on camera. You're the only one I'm talking to right now.
Good. I am gearing up for this Oktoberfest, like full throttle right now.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You're gonna get a lot of help with that next year, by the way.
Yeah, yes. I'm looking forward to that.
And yes, we will get a phone call next week, probably Thursday. So we will get a call on Thursday with your management and dot I's and cross T's.
Okay.
All right, JP, I'm changing your name, dude, because you are not Sherry. You've never been that good looking. And it is BASUA, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, got it. Got it. So how's Prescott doing? I see you guys are actually getting rain right now.
Oh, we've been getting rain for like 3 weeks now. Yeah, it's been pretty good. We needed it. You know, up here it's pretty brown, summertime, but now it's all green. I'm loving it.
So how long does your we got a few minutes here before we actually start kicking in here. So how long does the monsoon season work for you guys?
Usually go through from July to September. Sometimes, normally it'll rain like, anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes, drop down rain like crazy. But
okay.
It's been raining for hours at a time now.
Kind of like our Florida rain in the afternoon. It's 15, 20 minutes, squeezes the sponge, and then you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's been pretty good, and a lot of lightning storms, and
nice.
Pretty awesome.
Nice. Now you're going to be at the summit, right? At the end of the month, at the September. Good. Wouldn't be the same without you. So
it's those after hours.
Shh. We know nothing.
I don't know anything.
Although we're going to be, rumor has it, we're going to be at a baseball game.
Yeah, Friday night.
So, yep. So that'll be fun. Yeah. That'll be fun.
Which evening would that be?
Friday
night.
Okay.
Yep. Which is good because then you and I can get on a plane the next morning.
Yeah.
And sleep.
Right.
So that's important. That John, is important.
Are you going to the Austin event?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I will.
I'm going solo.
Are you?
Yeah.
What? When do you arrive?
Sunday.
Okay. And how long are you going to be in town for?
Thursday, I leave at 6 p.m.
Oh, that's good. I fly in on Monday evening and I fly out Wednesday evening. So it is a quick trip for me.
Okay.
So quick trip. So all right. And I am everybody today, by the way. Denny is just flying back from Bold up in Wisconsin, somewhere where probably Keith, aren't you from up in that area?
Yeah, he mentioned he would be in Appleton, so he would have landed here in my city and then drove like 2 hours up north.
That sounds about right. And he flew out of Chicago this morning. So, all right, guys, it is 1 o'clock, and we have an appointment at 1, so we're going to go ahead and get going. As a reminder, guys, if you look at the screen and look at your name, if it has Sherry and you are not Sherry, please change your name to your real name. And don't forget to put your location, where you're from, because guess what? Referrals do go around the horn here, so it's awesome. All right. Guys, we're going to jump right into this today. And here's how we're going to work this. I am going to be a buyer or a seller. So you guys are going to get to be the buyer's agent or the seller's agent. And touch screens mean that I hit something wrong and everything goes away. There we go. We're back. Okay. So here's how we can do this. You can either volunteer real quickly, or I'm just going to call you out.
Let's go.
All right. So Shannon, here's a scenario. By the way, Shannon's going to be first. Ralph's going to be second. And let's do Keith. You're going to be third. So there's the first three. Shannon, I'm a seller who does. I've been on the market for 90 days. We've been having conversations about dropping price. I don't want to drop the price. I'm pretty stubborn, so I might be a high D. And this conversation is taking place over the phone, because guess what, guys? We can have price drop conversations over the phone with sellers that we have a good relationship with. All right, ring, ring, hello.
Hey, John, Shannon Dixon. How's it going?
Hey, good, Shannon. How are you? Do we got an offer yet?
Well, that's what I'm calling you about, John.
Awesome. Well, tell me about the offer.
Well, we don't have an offer, and that's exactly why I'm calling you. You know, we've been sitting on the market now for 91 days, and tell me how you're feeling about that. Tell me how you're feeling about being on the market for 90 days and we haven't had any offers yet.
Not good.
Yeah, I understand. Me either, honestly. So, John, I think, you know, looking at what the market is doing and knowing what we know about what causes homes to sell, I think it's time that we maybe have some conversation around maybe improving the price. Do you remember when we listed the home? Do you remember we talked about that that fishing diagram? In fact, if you have the paperwork handy, you might be able to pull out that little fishing diagram that we discussed. The three outcomes when you list a house.
Yep, I've got it right here. By the way, side note, guys, email it to the clients if you have a scheduled call. Email
Okay.
that document right beforehand so they have no excuse. Yeah, I've got it right here, Shannon.
Okay, awesome. So, John, when you look at that document, you know, where do you think that we are in those three outcomes?
Well, we're not at number 3, which is where I
True.
need to be. So we're not
Exactly.
at number 3.
Exactly. So, what do you think we need to do to get to number 3?
Well, I want the house sold, and I'm not going to give it away.
I understand. and
I
don't
know
want
what
you
my
to give it
neighbors
away.
sold for. I know what things are going for, and I want to get top dollar for the house.
I understand. Absolutely. So, would you say we're at number 1 or number 2?
I don't know, how many showings should we be getting?
I mean, we should have a lot more than what we're getting. We've had, how many of showings have we had in the last 2 weeks, John?
2.
2. Okay. We should have a lot more than that. So, you know, based on that, we're at the number 1 on that diagram, correct?
I guess. Side note, guys, make me say it.
I make you say it. Yes, I know. I caught
Make
myself.
me choose.
Would
So
you say
yeah,
we're at number
I'd
1
say
or number 2, John?
I'd say we're at number 1, Shannon.
Okay. All right. So I just lost my train of thought. You know, John, I understand you don't want to give the home away. And I understand that your neighbors sold their home back in March for $300,000. Do you know what's been going on in the market? I mean, I know we've been sending you market updates and we've had some conversation about some market changes. Do you understand how that impacts the sale of your home?
What do you mean? Tell me more.
So if you go back to March when your neighbor's home closed, you know, they actually hit the market in February. We had very few listings on the market. In fact, our inventory was literally, we had maybe 2 days worth of inventory in your neighborhood on the market. Fast forward to today, there's over a month worth, it's like 1.1 month, so a month and a week of inventory in your neighborhood available to buyers. Buyers have more to select from. They're being choosier. So I would love for you to get what your neighbor got back in March when they sold their home, but we are no longer in that market. And we need to do everything we can to stay in front of the market so that you don't lose more money. Would you agree that every day you sit on the market, your home is dropping in value?
Okay, time. That was 4 minutes. Okay, it was 4 minutes. Shannon, awesome job. What do you feel you did well?
I mean, I think I did well with the bringing back the fishing diagram, other than I need to email it first. You know, getting you to answer some questions, although I could do better with that.
Okay.
I didn't get you closed. I didn't get you shut down for
That's
that.
okay. That's okay. We're practicing different stages of different conversations. Okay. What could you have done better? And then when we're done with this, I'm going to go to the group and ask them what you did well and what you could improve on.
I didn't have time to get to it, but I wanted to get back to your motivation.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for picking up on that.
Yeah. And I guess in the way our conversation was going, I was kind of struggling to figure out how to weave that in there in that short 4-minute time.
Okay.
frame.
Awesome. If you were able to roll it in and you could have a do-over, how would you stage it?
I would probably do the little fishing diagram, ask where you were, and then, John, remind me, why is it that you wanted to sell this home in the first place?
Perfect. So the importance of getting the motivation in early is really simple, guys. Bold law. Logic makes you think, emotions make you act. If we keep drilling in the logic behind a price reduction, I'm going to think about it. My brain's going to be working overtime. If I don't have the emotional pain or penalty for not making an adjustment, I'm not likely to do it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. So somebody raise your hand, shout out, whatever you want to do. Tell me something that you feel Shannon did well.
I think Shannon, she did well getting to the chart. You know, the one thing I was waiting for you to do, Shannon, is when John said, well, we've only had 2 showings in 2 weeks, it might have said something like, gosh, do you think that's enough to get the home sold? And what are you going to do if that continues? What are you going to do? You know, how long are you going to take this kind of medicine if it's not working? Something along those lines.
Okay.
Don, I love that.
I do too.
And here's a way to amplify that more. And this is why getting to the motivation in the beginning makes sense. And it might sound like, you know, Don, 2 showings in the past 2 weeks. Is that going to get you to whatever the motivation is? Is that going to get you closer to your grandkids? Is that going to get you in your job transfer? Is that going to get you retired in someplace really quiet and calm, like New York City? No one's going to retire there. Just thought I'd throw that out. So when you have the motivation, you can add that as really kind of a punch in the face or a slap in the face every time you're asking them a thought-provoking question. Is that enough to get your home sold? Maybe not. Is that enough to get you to go spend the rest of your life with your grandkids and your kids? Ouch.
One other thing, John.
Go ahead, Don.
And Shannon, I'm guilty of it too. We're all guilty of it. You asked, I didn't have time to write down what the question was, but you asked a question and you didn't let him come up for air. You just kept talking after the question. It's like he didn't even get a chance. It was a great question and he didn't get a chance to answer it because you just, you know, you just wanted to fill that empty space. I'm guilty of it too. We all got to learn less is more. Ask the question, get the answer, and then ask another question. Good job.
Dead air is hard.
It is.
Silence is hard.
Silence is extremely uncomfortable,
powerful though.
It is.
Yeah.
When you as agents get comfortable with the silence, that creates confidence. And guess what happens? You now own the room. See? Made a whole lot of people uncomfortable. They're like, why isn't he talking? All right. Who did I say was going to be second? Come on now, before I call on Bridget. I know it wasn't Bridget, but she's next to me.
I feel like there was a Ralph. Is there a Ralph? I don't see a Ralph.
Hi. Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
it was Ralph.
Yeah. Hi, John.
Oh, but Ralph's
Well,
an ISA. I can't call on Ralph.
Yes. Right. I'll be calling because I'm going to be supporting Gina Mullen's team, and I'll be calling
Wonderful.
unqualified leads. So I'll be observing here and how you do it, because I have never called any buyers, sellers, renters, and I have no idea how to deal with them. I just follow the scripts that Gina's team is giving me. So
Awesome. Ralph, welcome.
on Brevity, when I see that there's no like, thank you.
Awesome. So I'll tell you what, then I'm going to call out Dawn. Dawn is going to be the agent. This is a seller situation. So Dawn, let's start off with repeating the 4 steps of the model. Okay.
Okay.
And then we're at the listing appointment. And I'm gonna throw in the objection that I don't want to pay a high commission. So now you can be prepared. So remind everybody, let's start off, remind everybody the model, the 4 steps, and then we'll get right into the conversation.
Well, the 4 steps are to acknowledge, then isolate, answer the objection, and then close.
If you don't have that written down where you can see it every time you're on the phone, guys, write it down, big letters, black ink, so you can look at it all day, every day. That needs to be ingrained in your head. Awesome. Thank you, Don.
Sure.
All right. So Don, again, we're at the table, listing appointment. It's time to talk commission.
Okay. So, John, do you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home?
Yeah, Don, I do. I appreciate that. You're very professional. Your presentation was awesome.
Thank you. Well, and all we have to do now is simply for us to authorize these agreements, and we can get this on the market started now. Are you ready? Here's the pen.
I am. So go ahead and let's, I know there's some blanks that were filled in here. So run through this top to bottom. What am I signing? What's it mean?
Well, here's, let's just jump right to the
Sure.
commission here. So the commission here is 3% to the other buyer, and then 3% to myself and our team. So the total commission is 6%.
I'm pretty sure there's a guy in town who does it for 4. I see his billboards everywhere.
You're 100% right.
So why can't, if he can do it for 4, Don, why can't you?
Yeah, commissions are 100% negotiable, John. I guess the question I want to ask you is this a discount property?
No, not at all.
Not at all. I agree.
But at this price, Don, we're talking 2% is 20 grand.
I understand. So, do you routinely want to, can I tell you what happens when you hire a discount agent?
Sure.
Okay. Discounted agents bring discounted buyers. You know what kind of offers discounted buyers make?
Tell me.
Discounted buyers make discounted offers, which is going to net you less. Would you like to net more or net less?
I think everybody wants to net more.
Absolutely. May I share with you how we're going to net you more?
Yeah, I'd be interested in finding out.
Sure. Because John, the average agent that's going to charge you less is going to probably bring you about 10% of your sales price. An agent like me who's going to charge you more, by the way, you don't pay it until we close, is going to net you typically 5-6% more than that agent who's willing to discount their fees. See, an agent that doesn't have the ability or the courage to stand up to you, John, regarding their own fees, how hard do you think they're going to fight to get you top dollar?
Hadn't really thought of that, Don.
Something to consider, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. An agent that's so quick to give away their own money, they're just going to tell you to take the first offer, the lowest offer. They're not going to fight like a bulldog for 2 or 3 days, go back and forth with buyer and seller and agent and net you the top dollar. Now, do you want a bulldog to go to fight for you to get you top dollar, or do you just want to sign with a weak agent? Either one's okay.
Well, I guess, Don, the question I've got is how can we be sure that you're actually going to get more than the other agent?
Sure. Well, here's
why don't we just hire you both, and whoever sells it?
Well, you can't hire 2 agents to do it at the same time. That's for sure. You've got to pick between somebody that's a discount agent who's going to give your house away, or somebody that's going to show you the differences. Here's multiple listing. Here's what these average. Here's the average sales price, the list price ratio that those agents bring. Here's mine. That's 4% higher than this. Would you like 4% higher on your price or 4% lower?
Well, I mean, 4% higher is awesome. Why
Right.
can't you do 4% higher and still sell it at 4%? Because then I get to make 40 grand more.
That's true. That's true. Right. Do you want me to 100% go to work for you? Do you want me to just help you give your house away, John? Here-
No, I want 100% of Don.
Right. Well, to get 100% of me and more, all we have to do is authorize this agreement. And John, I just say that, look, if I get you 4% more, are you going to begrudge me getting 2% more than a discount agent?
I guess when you put it that way, Don, no.
Yeah, we're on the same team, right? But when you hire a discount agent, you're hiring somebody to work against you. I'm going to work for you. Wouldn't that be a better agreement?
That's a better option. All right,
Great.
Don, good job.
Put me to
Good
work.
job.
Thanks.
All right, so it's interesting. You had the sheet showing the data. The first thing I wrote down, I know you guys can't read it. The first thing I wrote down on here was show me the data, because you referenced it early, and I wrote down, I'm waiting for the data. So I'm glad you brought that up. Don, what did you do well?
Well, I think I went right at you with the commission, and I wasn't afraid to say, that's not me. And then I backed it up with the data. And you want a bulldog or you want a wimp? Which one,
And
John?
I love the fact that you stood up to me. Okay, now there's some people may not like that. It may not make them comfortable. I like it. That's how I would operate too. So thank you for showing that you can stand up to somebody and not have to cave on them. That was awesome. So Don, what could you have done better?
I haven't heard that one in a while, so I stumbled a little bit on it. I wasn't as smooth as I normally am. I haven't practiced that one because
Okay.
I haven't heard it.
You,
Could've been-
and I'm finding that interesting because I know your market a little bit. And yes, that guy with the billboard and discount commissions is all over
Mhm.
your area.
Mhm.
You can't drive a mile without seeing that ad.
That's right.
So that's why I used it. I figured it was something that you came up against every day. So that's really interesting.
And I was taught a long time ago, if you give a great presentation, there's rarely a commission objection. When you give a lousy presentation, they're going to object to the commission. Give a good
Exactly.
presentation, folks.
Awesome. All right. So give me some ahas from the crowd here. What you heard from Don, what you learned from Don that you said, you know what? That's really interesting. I can put that to use.
I got a question, John, for
Go
Don.
ahead, Al.
Don, initially you expressed to the seller that the commission that you're asking for was split between him and the other agent that would be showing the home.
Mhm.
In your defense, you never again brought up that other agent. Why, may I ask, did you not maybe ask the seller, how do you think the commission should be split if it was to be reduced? And if it was reduced, go into the idea of the buying agent or the agent that might be showing the house, showing his house over another house at a reduced commission.
I wanted him, great question, Al. I wanted him to make sure that he knew the commissions were negotiable. 6% was going to be evenly split. And John, I would never do anything to hurt you. So we don't want to offer a discounted fee to the agent that may be showing it. because they may be going to somewhere else that's going to pay them more. So we got to pay 3% to that buying agent. Again, I'm not going to hurt you with a discount fee. A discount agent sometimes will take 3% and offer 2%. That hurts you as a seller, especially in this market. I'm not going to do that to you. If anything, we're just going to split it evenly because we're both going to work as hard to bring that buyer into your home and get them close. And that's what you want, right?
Al, that was a great question.
Does that answer the
Okay.
question, Al?
Yeah, no, it does. I just, I'm actually wondering why you didn't bring that up. I think it's a great answer.
I only had 4 minutes. I had to go.
And that's okay. I mean, I came here, I think, with 5 or 6 good objections, and I think it will probably take us in this format to get the entire hour to get through them. So now here's one thing that I picked up on, Don. There were opportunities for you to present your expertise as the reason for the fee, and using examples, and we'll use one that Denny uses all the time. You know, so Don, have you ever gone to the doctor?
Sure have.
Awesome. Have you ever gone for anything more than a cold?
Yep.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
Well,
Just one. Pick one.
yeah. Well, I had a surgery for a blood clot.
Okay. Awesome. So, and obviously it came out right because you're
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how'd you choose your surgeon?
He was recommended by a doctor that's been in the business for 50 years. He's been our family doctor for 30. I trust him.
Awesome. I noticed you didn't go with the intern.
Yeah. Right.
I've been in business for insert, or our team has been in business for insert. This is the level of expertise that you get.
Right.
We handle blood clots. Does that make
Awesome.
sense, guys?
Yep. Here's the other one, and I just had this. John, you're probably familiar with Sully. The Captain Sully landed the plane in the Hudson, and all 155 people survived because the geese flew into engine. Right. He had less than 5 minutes. 5 minutes after the geese flew into the engines, he was landing in the Hudson. Sometimes in real estate, John, geese fly into engines in the middle of a real estate transaction, and it's going to take an experienced pilot, agent, an aged agent, somebody who's been there before. And I can say I have successfully saved people's financial transactions. And maybe we didn't land at the airport, but we landed in the river and everybody survived. So do you want to hire the guy that just got his pilot license in a Cessna? Or do you want to have a guy like me who can handle a commercial jetliner and bring everybody home? Which one?
I love that. Guys, write that one down. Put that in your arsenal.
Geese fly into engines in the middle of a real estate transaction. Who do you want to land the plane safely?
That is fantastic. Nisi's all over that. She's all excited about that. That's awesome.
I don't want to fly with Tom Cruise. That would be exciting, but I don't want to do it. I want the aged pilot with gray hair and wrinkles up at the cockpit.
I don't know. Don, side note, I saw the movie. He dyed his hair. He's got wrinkles. And what many of you may not know, he actually has F-18 flight training specifically for the movie, and he did take off and land all of his scenes.
Yes.
So my wife's a Tom Cruise geek. What can I say? I've got to know this stuff just so I can keep my place at my house. Anyhow.
Are you sure it's your wife?
What's that?
Are you sure it's your wife that's a Tom Cruise geek?
You know, this is JP. You and I we'll have some fun when we're in Scottsdale, and you can pick on me all you want about that. So
and he did. That's his P-51 Mustang at the end where he takes off and flies. That's him.
Yep,
that's his plane.
That is his personal plane.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Awesome. All right. So,
Hey, John, to
Greg,
add to that real quick.
Yeah, I got it.
hang on, JP. Let's get one from Greg, and then we'll come to you.
So this is my first time calling in, but I've got just a couple of comments. One with Shannon, we were all talking about that pause. I come from a coaching background, many years in college coaching, and a good buzzword for that is wait time. Just any kind of question. So write that down as people will help you remember is wait time. And that's a great, when you ask a question, teachers, you know, they're trained to do this, because all of us know when, like if John asks us a question, our brains kind of churn in, where we go through the little moment of like, man, I hope he doesn't call on me right away. And then we get to think for a second, and then it's easier to answer because we just had a little time. So it's called wait time.
And by the way, 2 tickets to Greece for whoever can tell me what the acronym WAIT stands for. You should
Why am I
also write this down. Who was that? Was that Mindy?
Yes, it was.
What'd you say, Mindy?
Why am I talking?
Why am I talking? Awesome. I knew she was smart. She's from Boston. She's a shout ahead. It's awesome.
And then a comment to Don, or just to all of us. So I used to do a lot of recruiting at the college level and all over the country. And we talked very little, in this case, about the other agent or the other agency or anything. If we did, usually it wasn't positive. And so we called that negative recruiting. And so we stayed away from that. We just didn't really talk. And so I'll just tell you a very quick story. I had a legal issue about 10, 12 years ago. It was pretty serious. I had to get a lawyer. I was meeting with an attorney. It was like the 3rd guy that I'd met with. And he was quite a bit more expensive than the others. And then I inquired about that. And he just said, it's very brief. He said, you get what you pay for. The side that wins doesn't make mistakes. And he pounded his fist on the desk and he said, I don't make mistakes. And that was it. He didn't say anything else. He didn't say anything bad about anybody else, but he basically sold himself. And so that would be the thing, is all of us, when we get in that situation, is you just explain why you're worth it. And who cares about the guy on the billboard or anything else? You just sell yourself like, I'm worth every penny. And as a, you know, and say it confidently, and like there's no issues with that. So anyways, I didn't mean to butt in, but I'm
Greg,
doing a lot of listening because this is my first time, but just thought I'd throw those in.
That is awesome. I appreciate that. And everybody should write down WAIT and be looking at that also. JP, you had something before we go on to the next one.
Oh, that's okay. Go to the next one.
Oh, come on now.
I was just gonna say, for like the newer agents who don't have a lot of transactions, to kind of talk about their team, you know, on what KCN does as a group.
Exactly.
You know, kind of help them out in their, you know, because you hear sometimes clients being like, well, how much experience do you have in this neighborhood? Or, you know, hey, my team has a lot of experience type situation.
Exactly. Our team is almost 200 agents strong in 50 markets across the country. We sell over 2,000 homes a year and 700 million in real estate. Do you think there's some experience that together we can draw on that? And like, ooh, now here's the kicker. If you're going to use numbers like that, preface it with a question. How many homes do you think the average agent sells? Now, know your market stats, because it's completely different in my market than it is in Shannon's market. Okay. Then, oh, okay. So, you know, if I would, in our market, the average agent sells 2 houses a year in Naples. Don't even get me started. So, okay. So if I sell 2 houses a year, then, you know, I'd be considered average. So what would you consider good? And they'll say, oh, 15 or 20. So great. So if I sold 20 houses, then I'd be acceptable. Well, would 100 be the number for you to hire me? 200, what's the number? And then that's when you say, well, our team sold 365 homes this year. So this is how you would step into it. All right. So JP, that is great input. I would just add to it that you want to get them to name what they think is successful. And it doesn't matter what they say. You don't have to correct them. Say, oh, I think the average agent sells 20 homes a year. Great. So what would be acceptable to you? And that's when you can tie the entire team in. Does that make sense? Awesome. All right. Mindy, I'm calling on you because I'm from your neck of the woods originally.
I know, Terry.
Yep. So we're going to talk about, we're again at the listing appointment. All right. And here's the scenario. I'm going to wait for the market to rebound. I don't want to sell in a falling market. I'm going to wait for it to rebound. And our next participant, just so you can prepare yourself, is going to be Keith, and it's going to be role reversal. I'm the buyer, and I want to wait till the bottom of the market. All right, Mindy, we're at the table.
All right. So, wait, so
We're at the table. I'm a seller.
you're the seller, and
Yep.
you're going to wait for the market to revert back to what it was at the peak.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, John, how will you know when it's rebounded?
Well, I guess when prices start going back up.
I see. I see. So how much do they need to go up before you'll consider it to have rebounded?
I don't know, probably, I guess a good direction is probably what, 5%? Would that indicate a rebound?
Well, that would be up to you. So here's the tricky thing is typically we know when it's reached the top, when it starts to drop again, and we don't know the bottom until it goes back up again. So since it's a moving target, how will you ever know when it really has reached the right number?
Well, I guess, like I said, once they start going back up again, that's a signal that it was probably the right time to do this.
I see. And in the and you're looking to also buy a home as well as sell your home, am I right?
Yep.
Right. So you're going to be buying and selling in this market. Is that right?
Yes.
So if you wait for prices to go up, that means you're going to be paying more on the buy side. Do you see that?
What do you mean?
Well, if your home goes up more in value, doesn't it mean that the home you're going to buy is also gone up more in value?
Yeah, but you know what? Since I'm buying down,
Mhm.
my percentage win is much higher on the sales side than it is on the buy side.
I
So
see.
I'm okay if they're going. Prices tend to all go up, similar in nature. So I'll actually do better selling mine for more because I'm buying down.
I see. Let me ask you this. Are you going to have enough from the proceeds in the sale of your home to buy your home cash outright, or will you need to do some financing?
No, it'll be cash.
It'll be cash? Okay. So something else to think about is even though you may be paying cash on the buy side, what about the buyer of your home? Do you think that they're going to be paying cash or are they going to be financing?
You know, I guess it really doesn't matter to me because in the end, it's still cash in the bank.
I see. Can you explain how it might actually matter to you?
Sure.
Okay. So if the buyer of your home is going to be financing, like the majority of buyers in our area are financing the purchase of their home, then interest rates and the affordability of your home is going to determine how many buyers are going to make offers. So we only know what the interest rates are now. We don't know what they're going to be. Isn't it better to know that with the interest rates as they are right now, as opposed to possibly going even higher, that you can get the maximum number of buyers to come and make an offer on your home right now?
Well, that's one of the reasons why I think the prices are going down is interest rates are going up. Yeah, at some point, you know, we have an election coming up. Some politician's going to be smart enough to turn this around.
Uh-huh. Right. So if that happens.
1
and-
minute. 1 minute.
Okay. So, and if that happens, how do you think that that's going to affect the competition for you when you go to make it? Are you going to be one of 20 offers or 50 offers?
I'd love to have 20 offers on my house.
Oh, I was asking if you're going to be one of people making an offer on the home you plan to buy.
Yeah, you know, it's I'm buying it cash. I should be in a really good position.
Some people will say cash is king. There are different types of an offer, and not every time does the cash offer win. It all comes down to the terms and the conditions. But let me ask you, what's your actual motivation for selling right now?
Okay, time. Thank you. One of the first things I wrote down was motivation. All right. So, Mindy, how do you think you did?
I should have asked that at the beginning.
Listen, I this is one mass hole to another. Okay, so I was being a little tougher on her. So How
Yeah,
do- how
yeah.
do-
I should have asked the motivation right at the beginning.
It helps having the motivation, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And remember the model. Acknowledge.
Right.
I get it. I what I hear you saying is awesome. I get it. Okay. Isolate.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Right.
other than you wanting to get the most out of the house you possibly can, or other than you think that the market is going down, or other than you think it's going to recover quickly, is there anything keeping you from moving forward?
Yeah. I didn't have that model written in front of me at the moment. Of course, now I have my page turned to it.
It's really helpful to follow it, isn't it?
It is absolute.
Awesome. So you get through those two, you get it isolated, then you can address the motivation.
Mm.
You know, John, let me ask you, if it's going to take 6 months or a year or 3 years for the market to turn to a point where you're comfortable, how does that make you feel? How's it going to affect what you're trying to do? Okay, you've got to dig. You can stick the knife in there and twist it. There's nothing wrong with doing that. All right? Awesome. Any other observations, guys?
She asked a lot of questions and got you an
Okay.
answer. I mean, she was very question based.
Yep.
So great job. The one thing I would have, when he was talking about interest rates, I was waiting for you to say, Mindy, well, what happens if they don't?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. What happens if they don't?
Yeah.
By the
I
way,
was-
go ahead. Who had something?
No, I wrote down motivation also. That was kind of my thing, get to that quicker. I liked what about the buyer for your home? Do you think they'll be financing or cash and going through that dialogue? I really liked that. And you did a great job asking questions.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Shannon.
Mhm.
Quick little side note on interest rates. First of all, do you guys know what the jumbo loan rates are, or the jumbo loan size is in your market?
No.
Okay,
Correct.
learn it. And here's why. All right. Jumbo loans right now are 1% less than conventional conforming loans. Jumbo loans are less by a full percent. JP's like, how in the world? Yeah. This morning, a no point conventional conforming loan was 5.6 and change, and a jumbo was 4.6. So if you have a house that's right on the edge of that jumbo loan limit, you might look to advertise the fact that you can buy that house for 1% under market rate. Would that be helpful? Awesome. All right, Keith, you ready? We're gonna wait until the market bottoms out.
Got you.
And we're in right now. We are in face to face in the office at a buyer consultation, and I'm going to give you the objection. You know, Keith, the market seems to be going down, and interest rates seem to be going up. It really seems like it's the wrong time for us. So we're just going to wait until the market bottoms out.
Okay, John. So you think waiting until the market bottoms out is definitely ideal for the next purchase, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I understand that. So other than the market, waiting for the market to bottom out, is there any other reason why you don't want to try to buy today?
Just that and the interest rates.
The interest rates. All right. I definitely understand that. So let me ask you a question. Is there
Finish isolating, just to be
Okay.
sure.
Okay, the two.
Yep.
So other than interest rates and waiting for the bottom of the market, is there any other reason why you wouldn't want to buy today?
No, that's it. I mean, prices 3 years ago were lower, and interest rates were really low, and that's kind of waiting for it to get back to that.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Do you? I forget. Do you rent or do you own?
I'm renting.
Okay. Okay. So Do you think that the amount of time that you would have to wait for the bottom of the market, you could afford to swing that paying someone else's mortgage?
I love that question. I love that question. So explain that to me again, Keith.
Well, so when you rent, you definitely play to lose. You're paying someone else's mortgage instead of your own, and you're not gaining any equity that way. So if we get you into a house today, the money that you would be paying towards your rent each month would then be building actual equity that you can borrow later, or at least build some wealth.
Yeah, but if I buy a house and the price of the house goes down, I'm losing money there too.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So there is a national average of 4% appreciation on each home. So, and that's an average. It could go up, it could go down, but 4% each year, it goes up in value. So it's actually the safest hedge against inflation as well.
So it goes up
So-
4% every year?
On average, it could. It has been nationally, historically shown that here's a graph that every 10 years in history, wherever you bought, you would then, if you held it for 10 years, you would make your money back. If you only wanted to hold for 3 to 5 years, that's a different strategy we should discuss.
Well, what if I need to move in 3 to 5 years?
Then we
So
would
now I
use-
have a new objection, guys. What
You
just
do.
happened? He planted a seed, right?
Ah,
I might
okay.
have to sell it in 3 years, Keith. Maybe I should just rent.
so, but let me ask you a question, John. Has your rent gone up at all?
Oh yeah, everybody's has.
Right. So do you think it's going to continue to go up, or do you think it'll go back down?
It'll probably still go up.
So with your rent going up each month, you're still prepared to wait 3 years to buy a house?
Well, if I have to move in 3 years, I don't know if I have to, but I might.
That's correct. Yeah, I could see that. So other than having to move in 3 years, the interest rates, and waiting for the market to bottom out, is there any other reason why you don't want to buy today?
No, we just got to figure out when the numbers make sense.
Right. So unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball for you. But what we can do is look at the data points which indicate that the market could go back up or it could go back down. What do you think would happen if the market doesn't go down?
All right, so we're going to call time right there because we still have a few more we want to get in today. Keith, good job. I threw some stumbling blocks at you. All right.
Whew, I was ready
Fantastic
to
job.
but not for
Yep.
that. Like I had it all set how it was going to go, and then you switched tracks, and I was like, oh man. So I reverted back to the model.
That's why the model is like anything else, guys. If you've ever taught a class and you find yourself off track, you have your workbook that you can look right back at and say, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. So the model becomes your workbook. All right. So Keith, what did you do well? I've got a couple things on here that we can fine tune, but I want to hear how you feel you did.
So I was working on confidence and waiting and patient. I don't know why, but for some reason, like I get jittery every time it's my turn, and I'm trying to work through that. Like I don't want it. It's almost like being afraid of it, and so I'm trying to face that and get through it, and be calm while I'm doing it. So I don't know if I did well on that, but I was definitely working that angle. And then what I think I did well was definitely trying to stick to the model.
Excellent.
I mean, I really stuck to it.
You did fantastic with it. And Keith, great job getting out of your comfort zone. All right. Remember, it's really, and we all get the same thing. It's like, oh, this is so crazy having to do this in front of everybody that does this for a living. And, you know, they're all experts. And I'm like, we all feel that way. This is a safe room. And if you're going to make a mistake, this is the place to do it. The place to make mistakes is with people that are going to help you grow. It's not with people that are paying your mortgage. Does that make sense? All right. What else did you guys hear from Keith?
I think he planted that seed that shouldn't have been planted. He just gave you another reason to
Yeah, the planting the seed, right? So be careful not to add fuel to the fire.
I
And
think Keith did well. I really do. The interesting part, rent or own, when you are paying somebody else's rent. So, you know, he kind of explained it very well, and it's very noticeable. Very good.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you, Glenda. And Keith, I agree with that. You did a very good job of pointing out, said, hey, you know, when you write that rent check every month, you're paying a mortgage, it's just not yours. Okay. Now there's one thing that I'd like to suggest to fine tune just a little bit. You said when you're renting, you're playing to lose. Now you gotta be very careful when you're telling somebody they're doing something negative. Okay. So ask a question. Do the same thing, but instead of saying, you know, when you're renting, you're playing to lose. You know, what do you think happens to the rent check when you send it to your landlord? What does he do with it? Oh, okay, so he's paying his mortgage. And what happens? Oh, so you're paying down his mortgage. How does that help you? Okay, it's a very direct question. It's a painful question. That you're muted. There you go, Keith.
Yeah, but it's not a statement. I got you.
Yeah, it's not a direct shot, or it's not going to be perceived as a direct shot at my intelligence because I'm playing to lose. It's okay.
Making
You're
you
holding me
realize it.
accountable.
Right.
Completely different.
Got it. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Awesome. 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 All right. So let's see. Who would like to be sitting down at a listing consultation with me? And then I throw out well, you know what? I'm just going to sell the home myself. Mindy panics. She's like, oh, please don't call him. He's like, ah.
No. I have an appointment with somebody at 10 o'clock tomorrow. That's already, I heard him tell somebody else that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna hire an attorney and sell it himself, stick a sign in the yard. So
Awesome. So you love this one.
well, I want to hear how it happens.
Okay. You've already gone, so we don't have to, you don't have to jump in and play. Who would like to take that spot before I start calling on somebody?
I mean, if nobody goes, I'll go.
Oh, I love it, Keith. You want to step up again? All right.
Yeah, I got you.
Keith, we're sitting down at the table.
Okay.
All right.
And all right. And you think you're gonna sell it on your own? Okay. Hey John, how's it going today?
It's going good, Keith. Yeah, it's like I said, I'm glad you came out. Glad you saw the house. Really interested to know what you think of the price. Chances are I'm still going to sell it on my own, but I appreciate you reaching out, and I wanted to at least hear what you had to say.
Right. I appreciate that. So other than, you know, wanting to list on your own, is there any other reason, or actually, let me ask you, is there a reason why you prefer to list on your own?
And I'm going to insert some jargon here is let's not use list, because if they're selling it on their own, they're not listing it, are they?
They're selling it
They're unassisted.
unassisted.
So
Okay.
Tell me more about why you want to sell your home unassisted.
Assisted.
And most sellers are going, what do you mean unassisted, Keith?
Well, without representation.
Oh man, you got such a big opportunity.
I guess I don't see it.
Okay, that's all right. We'll get back to it.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I'm really interested to see what you think of the price, and then we can make a decision from there.
Awesome. So let me ask you, do you paint at all?
Do I paint?
Do you paint?
Oh man, I'm colorblind. Nobody, I don't even pick my own clothes out.
Cool. So when you have someone paint for you, do you hire that person?
Well, yeah.
Okay, cool. So do you think that if you had to paint, you could?
Well, yeah, I can go get a paintbrush and buy some paint from Home Depot.
Do you think it would be as good of a job as the person you would hire?
Well, I guess it's all relative. I mean, it might be as good as the person I was going to hire for the money I was going to spend.
Okay. Ooh, you got me. I had it all set up too. Okay. So other than, I still don't know why you don't want to hire me.
Because you haven't asked the question yet.
So is there, let me ask you, John, what is the reason why you don't want to have assistance in selling your home?
Because you know what? Anybody can put their house on Zillow and find a buyer, and I just don't see any reason to pay 6% to do that.
I understand. Zillow is definitely popular. So, other than not wanting to pay the commission, is there any other reason why you wouldn't want to hire an agent?
No.
Okay.
Do you know anyone that'll do it for nothing?
I unfortunately, I do not. However, I do know that with things that cost money, services, it's best to hire quality workers that you research. So let me ask you, John, you got me on the paint thing with being colorblind too.
God's honest truth, man.
What else? So do you work on your car, John?
I do.
All right. So would you consider yourself an expert at cars? Mechanics?
Older ones, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the older ones were a lot easier to work with, definitely. Coat a haircut. So that's a good one. Thank you for bringing that up, James. So sorry for, I got another phone call. Sorry about that, John. So
No,
anyways,
Keith, this is how we grow and how we get better. So
I had the
applaud you
script
for doing this.
but the paint, man, the paint thing threw me off. I thought I had you on painter. If I could show you how to sell your house. So if
that is directly from Denny's script book. Thank you, Augustina. Appreciate you.
If I could show you how to sell your house for free, wouldn't you want to know about it? So do you cut your own hair, John?
I could be like you, Keith. But
I do actually cut my own hair. I do.
So we're gonna call time because I like what Augustina threw out there.
Yeah,
and
I know about it.
I know you got really uncomfortable here. And again, awesome, great job. So no, I don't cut my own hair. That's a great segue into it. This question, when I said I don't want to pay 6%, there's two questions you got to ask.
Okay.
One, I get it. I get it. So what would you pay? Find out what they're thinking.
Right.
And they're going to give you a number. If you're in Scottsdale, they're going to say, I want to pay 4%, just like the guy on the billboard. Okay. Then you say, if I could show you that I could sell your house for free, or, if it didn't cost anything to hire me, would you hire me?
And then point out how it's free.
And then you go down the road of, and Mindy, hopefully this is going to help you out tomorrow. Then you start going down the road. Well, when homes sell, especially for sale by owners, do you think the buyer is using a professional agent or doing it on their own? Does not matter their answer. You're painting them into a corner. All right. So if they say, well, they do it on their own. Awesome. Why do you think they're doing that? Anyone chime in? Why do you think a buyer is buying a house on their own from a for sale by owner?
Save money.
Great. What are they trying to save, Don? Are they trying to save the commission?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can I just ask a simple question?
Sure.
Who's in a better position to save the commission? The buyer that has 50 homes to choose from, or the seller with an emotional attachment to the property? Who is going to be more likely to save the commission?
Well, wouldn't we both save commission, John? If we don't use an agent?
Maybe. But Don, you could also be looking at that final sales number. You don't know if that's top market value, do you?
No, I really don't.
So now you would take them down the road of what does it look like to expose the entire market? And I got news for you. Zillow is not the entire market. Keep in mind, but for sale by owner buyers are doing that for one reason and one reason only. When they're unassisted, they don't have an agent. One reason and one reason only. They're preying on the seller. You don't have to tell it to the seller that way, but get this mindset in there. Those buyers are preying on the seller. They are hoping, praying, saying, good God, I hope they're desperate. I can get 10% off the house. It's a win for the buyer. For sale by owner buyers, shop for sale by owner because they want to buy wholesale.
They want to take advantage of you.
Yes, and this is, go ahead, Don.
And John, may I share something else with you?
Yeah, please do.
Those buyers, then they know that you may not know this, but they know that you didn't expose it to everybody else. And they know they're the only buyer in the game. And then they have control over you because they can try to beat you up for repairs that other people are not going to ask you for because they know they were lucky to get it because they beat out the competition. They're going to take advantage of you in price, repairs, terms.
Yep.
You're not going to be in control. Would you like to be in control or out of control?
I love this. This is all the mindset that you guys need to go into this. Okay. Every time you're sitting down with a for sale by owner, you don't have to get as animated as Don or I do. Okay. But you have to have the mindset of you are setting yourself up for failure. You don't know what you don't know. There you go. Miracle on the Hudson. You go right back to it.
Experience matters, folks. I've helped hundreds of for sale by owners, or even if you haven't, my firm has helped hundreds of for sale by owners save money, have great closings, easy terms. We defend you all the way through. Would you like somebody to defend you, or do you really want to go to court on your own?
Love that. That's another great analogy. Okay. Now here's the reality of it, Mindy. You ready for this?
Yeah, I was just going to ask a question.
Go ahead. Ask the question first.
Because this FSBO said he's going to hire an attorney. So he's probably thinking that then he doesn't have that liability that Don was just talking about.
Okay. So awesome. You be the seller. I'll be the agent.
Okay.
Okay. So Mindy, I understand that should you decide to sell unassisted, you're going to hire an attorney to make sure the paperwork's drafted for you, correct?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. So other than that, is there any other reason why you wouldn't do business with me today?
I mean, in the market that we're in right now, I think that I can sell it on my own and do just fine.
And you know what? I agree with you. You can sell it on your own. Absolutely. Does not matter the market. You can sell your house on your own. Here's my question to you. Are you more interested in saving money or making money?
Why can't I do both?
Not saying you can't. I'm just asking what you're more interested in.
I figured if I save money, I'll be making more money.
Okay. If I could show you a way that you can hire me and you actually make more money, would you be open to that conversation?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay, awesome.
If you can guarantee that I'll make more money, yeah, sure.
Well, you know what? I'd love to say I can make guarantees, but if I could make guarantees, it'd be on the beach with a rum drink, my yacht sitting offshore, and you and I wouldn't be having this conversation because I'd be long since retired. Nobody is that good. All right. And I put that in there so hopefully Denny will listen back and make fun of me for sneaking that reference in. So, Mindy, were you aware that of all the successful for sale by owners out there, over 90% of them have at least one real estate agent involved?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, because I mean, if you decide to sell unassisted and I bring you a buyer, I'm assuming you'd compensate me, correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're really not talking about you saving 6%. We're really talking about you saving 3% because you're already willing to pay me 3% to bring you a buyer.
Well, I'll pay 2% for you bringing a buyer.
Okay, so if I brought you a buyer that would net you what you wanted, does it really matter how much commission is built in? I mean, if they were willing to pay a price that made me 10% and still made you exactly what you want, does that really matter?
Well, I was thinking that I could still get that amount and then not have to pay you, and I would make even more,
Sure. So you have a contract in hand,
right?
bird in hand, worth more than two in the bush.
Uh-huh.
You have a contract in hand that says you're going to get paid, you're going to net what you want. Does it really matter how much I'm making? If your goals are accomplished and you get to go and move and spend time with your grandkids.
I suppose not.
Okay. Side note, guys, I stuck on that for a reason. If you can't get them to admit that it does not matter, then you might not be able to win this conversation. Okay. So awesome, Mindy. So we're really talking about 3% here. So, you know, Mindy, how many houses have you sold before?
4.
Okay, awesome. Congratulations. And of those 4, how many times did you do it on your own?
3 of them.
Okay, terrific. So, and Mindy, this has been my profession for 17 years now. Personally, I've sold over 500 homes, probably approaching 600 now. Do you think that in that experience, maybe, just maybe, I might have enough negotiating experience to net you another 1 or 1.5%?
I suppose it just seems like nobody knows their home better than me. I mean,
Sure.
nobody.
And I'm going to sit here and say nobody knows negotiating real estate better than me. So, you know, awesome. So you bring up a good point. You have an emotional attachment to your home. You've lived there for 15 years. Do you think that emotions could put you in a position where you don't necessarily make the best decision for you?
I suppose that's possible.
Okay, and could that cost you 0.5% or 1% maybe? I mean, it's only 0.5% or so, right?
I suppose.
Okay, so now we're only talking about a 1% difference. Now, when I expose it to the 10,000 real estate agents that are in our marketplace that all have ready, willing, and able buyers looking for property today that are working with professional agents, do you think that leverage could possibly get us another 1 or 2%?
Well, I was thinking about using one of those entry only. You know, I pay them like $300 and they throw it in the MLS. I mean, isn't that going to give me the same exposure?
Maybe. So our database is 10 to 12,000 people deep that we communicate with every single month. We come up with people off market all the time. Do you think that leverage could net you a little bit more money?
Maybe.
So see what I did, guys? I've now taken away the 6%, and now we're actually up to 7 or 8% more in her pocket without her having to consider the fact, how many times do you think you have to show the home? What do you do for work? How much time do you have to take off of work to do this? Yeah, da 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 da. So, Mindy, the point is take them through the individual steps. Chunk it down into tiny little pieces.
Okay.
All right? Chunk it down to tiny little pieces, because the bottom line is every seller has the same concept in their head, which is my house is worth X, whether I sell it or you sell it. That's where their problem comes in. So you need to chip away at that by showing the value. Well, you know, you're probably going to use another agent. You're going to pay another agent, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So we're only talking about half of the fee. And then you start bringing in negotiating. You start bringing in MLS. If she throws out, yeah, well, I can put her in a list yourself. Yeah, you can. I didn't even go down the pricing road yet.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Go
jump
ahead,
in
Keith.
like that. Is the attorney a real estate attorney or a regular, okay. Cause I represented a seller and the buyer had just an attorney. And when it was a FSBO, and then when they got the offer to purchase, they hired me and I took over from there. But the buyer, they didn't pay attention to deadlines. I had to write his contracts to keep his extensions to keep it going because the lawyer was just a regular lawyer. He didn't even sign the offer to purchase. So like there was huge holes that we were able to show the value. And then I was able to net more in commission because of that.
Keith, that is a great story, and you need to use that and fine tune it every for sale plan you talk to. Awesome. All right, guys. I know we went over today real quick, 1 or 2 ahas, and then don't forget we are back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Couple things you guys got from today.
Hey, for me, it's kind of off subject, but I say to Keith, man, I seen you grow a lot, man, and you're doing awesome. Your dedication and your drive to push forward. Good job, man.
I appreciate that, man.
That is an awesome insight. Thank you for that, JP.
I like 2 things. The weight analogy from Coach. He's not on my screen. I forgot the weight analogy.
Greg, he had to jump off, but yes.
And the weight acronym I've never heard. Why am I still talking? Right. And John, you're paying a mortgage. It just isn't yours.
Exactly.
Boom.
That is a great way of saying that. Love it. You're paying a mortgage. It's just not yours.
I like Don's thing where Miracle on the Hudson. I think that story could be used in so many cases.
Did you notice that's in his listing presentation? That's in his listing presentation, guys.
Anybody can use that ad.
It's awesome.
Anybody can use that ad. It's a great analogy, guys. You're the pilot. Your companies are the pilot. You've been there. You've done that. You can land the plane.
Awesome.
Can.
Awesome. Guys, thank you for staying on a couple minutes extra today. Really appreciate you. Hopefully we'll see a couple of you next week in Austin. Otherwise, we'll see you next Friday. Keep on crushing it, guys. Have a great one.
Thank you, John and Don.
Thank you, everybody.